and welcome to Partner News Live. Today, February 26, 2025. We have a splendid show for you today. Our favorite security contributor, Jason Smith, is here. I will be telling you all about the ConectUS areas at Channel Partners Expo and how you can score a free Expo pass. And Shellie has news about the new iPhone 16e. In fact, let's say hello to Shellie right now. Hey Shellie, great to see you.
Oh, it's great to see you too, Neil.
So, as I just said to everybody, we get Jason Smith coming on in just a moment. So happy to see Jason. It's been a while. But you're also going to be talking today about the new iPhone 16e
Yes.
that comes out just on Friday in a couple of days' time. So, looking forward to hearing all about that. Hey, but listen, first, can we talk about the news? In the news, Italy is working on an alternative to Elon Musk's Starlink, so says an Italian government minister. And I'm thinking to myself, if every country, including People's Republic of China and India and so on and so forth, keep putting up all these low Earth, hundreds of low Earth orbit satellites, is it even going to be possible for spaceships with people in them to take off without crashing into them? Are you worried? I am.
At first, I thought it was a wonderful idea, and then the logistics of it does freak me out a little bit.
Just a little bit, just a little bit. I mean, apropos of talking about that, it worries me. Suni Williams and Butch Wilmore, they were supposed to be up there for 10 days. They've now been up there for what, 8 months with only one change of underwear. Can you imagine? Ugh.
I don't. Yeah, I don't think they could put a line out to dry. I wonder how they do that. I mean, there's no gravity, so do they? I don't know.
I mean, I don't know what they do for laundry washing up there, but honestly, feel for them stuck up there, for goodness sake. Hey, listen, something a bit more relevant to our industry, shall we say, after about 20 years. Yeah, the net neutrality rules have been struck down by an appeals court. The FCC's rules, so, that may work well for Verizon. Now, I should point out to everybody that telephone calls, regular wireless telephone calls, this will make no difference at all. But it may work to Verizon's advantage when it comes to internet connectivity, network connectivity, especially, fixed wireless access. So let's keep watching this space. You and I, Shellie, we always like to end on some happy news. So up here on screen, we've got Levi Dittman, 15-year-old Levi Dittman. You'll love this story. It's from the Beehive State of Utah. In January, 15-year-old Levi Dittman got stranded on a ledge in the Red Mountain Trail area of the Dameron Valley. It's in that very southwest corner of Utah, near to the
Wow.
Nevada and Arizona borders. And after a cold night, he was rescued by the team shown in the photograph. However, his backpack was left behind. And to his dismay, his backpack actually contained about $300 of medical supplies, a couple of space blankets, water, high calorie snacks, that he built up using his own pin money, his own pocket money. So you can imagine he was feeling very, very miserable, poor fellow, even though his life was safe, thank goodness. However, you're not going to believe this. Just last week, somebody called Julian Hernandez and his son, who doesn't have a name, were hiking in the very same area, and they admit they were very poorly prepared, and they got lost. And so while they were searching for shelter, they found the backpack with the space blankets, the emergency rations, and so on and so forth. And
Wow.
so they too survived overnight.
That is very good news. Yes.
Isn't it just? And of course, they finally returned the backpack, sans, of course, the food and water to Levi Dittman. So a very, very happy ending. So, Shellie, listen, I know, let's have you back in just a few minutes because I know you're going to be telling us all about this iPhone 16e that's half the price of the regular iPhone 16 series.
Wow.
So let's jump over and we'll have a conversation with our special contributor, our expert contributor, Jason Smith. Jason, great to see you.
Good to see you, Neil. How's your day going?
It's going just fine. Hey, listen, before we talk some more, let me just show everyone a short clip of the panel session you were on with us last year.
Yeah, there's deep fake. They can be impersonations that happen. AI gives the ability to make those more realistic. It still is going to take a human interaction today, luckily, right? And without that human interaction, but what it does is it gives people that are low skill a higher skill level by being able to take this tool and make more strategic spear phishing attacks, more strategic emails, and they can send them out quickly.
And listen, for those of you not watching live, for those of you who are watching the recording on YouTube, I'm going to put the link just down below here, and you can actually watch the full recording of that panel session with Jason on his expertise on encryption and security and all that kind of safety stuff. But for now, Jason, I want to ask you a quick question. All the news right now is bad news, and it suggests that things are really getting out of hand. What's happening?
Well, Neil, the bad actors are out there. They're stealing data. There's been over 1 billion records that were taken here in the U.S. alone just in the first 9 months of 2024. That's everything from social security numbers to medical records, personal identifiers, driver's licenses, and all this data is going to be used against you. With all this stuff going on and all the headlines you're hearing, people are feeling overwhelmed, right? They feel like there's nothing that they can do. And there's even people that are, turning to trying to camouflage their identity online through a VPN. But even the VPNs are being attacked, and they're being attacked by brute force. These are, you can almost think of a brute force as a colony of ants, right? So ants are normally just building their hive together. Well, think about if each one of these ants was a computer around the world, thousands, tens of thousands of these ants, these bots, if you will, are working together to break into your passwords. That's what a brute force attack is. And it's very challenging for the average person to combat that. When you talk about passwords, most people, want to use a password that of something that they'll easily remember, their favorite pet, their name, their birth date, something like that. And for a while there, you could do that. And most passwords, 8 characters or above were enough to keep you safe. Not any longer, not with these brute force attacks. What's recommended is that you start turning to a password generator.
Okay.
Google has one that can really help not only create those passwords for you, but store them on your computer and make things simpler.
Jason, most of our viewers will know what a brute force attack is, but just for the newbies who are watching just now, can you just give us a bit more detail? What does that mean?
It means that generally it's a group of thousands or tens of thousands of computers that are working in succession to be able to break a password. And they work in tandem, they work 24/7, and they never stop. Most of the computers that are involved in this network have been either have a virus or they're working in the background from an everyday computer, right? So they've been infected to be part of this brute force attack, and the user doesn't even know it's happening in the background. The only way that you can really find it is having a deep forensics of your environment, having a good antivirus to prevent those machines become compromised, and then of course having a remediation policy to be able to bring those machines back online clean.
So, I mean, Jason, when you're talking about brute force attack, you're talking about all these hundreds, if not thousands or tens of thousands of computers that are essentially going through Webster's dictionary or the encyclopedia or going through the list of babies' names, like Susan 123, Susan 123, exclamation point and such like.
You can almost think of it as them trying to the old-fashioned lock combinations, right? They're spinning the numbers until they get that lock open. And there could be billions of different combinations, right? When you talk about the amount of characters that are on your keyboard and the different combinations that you can have, what you can do to protect yourself is to make those combinations not patterns. Take the patterns out of it. So it's not keywords. It's not words from a song. It's not something that's personally identifying for you. Don't put your numbers on the end of your passwords. Use a password generator that's going to be randomized, and then often change your passwords. Don't keep the same password forever. Make it a routine to change your passwords at least once a year, sometimes every 6 months, because even though there's no way to keep them from cracking that password, the ability to be able to crack a short password or an easy password, Susan, with 123 on the end, versus some 26 digit randomization, could be days to weeks to years before they're able to crack that. And if you have a good cadence of setting up new passwords bi-yearly, yearly, the chances for them being hacked before you change that password it diminishes, and it lowers your risk.
So, Jason, you're really talking about the difference between an easy password that can be broken in, say, 10 days and a difficult password that could be broken in a year or a couple of years.
That's right.
And changing the password before, statistically, the bots can do this.
Yes, that's right. Changing your passwords is one of the things that you can do to lower your risk from these brute force attacks.
And it's kind of like more like our instead of having Susan123 or even Susan123 at, hash, a different dollar symbol and such like, it's all got to be completely jumbled up at random.
They statistically random passwords are going to be a better protection than something that has a pattern.
Now, Jason, thinking back to the 5-person panel session that you and I were on last year, you were the expert who was warning us all about AI and its influence on, social engineering and all kinds of hacking. And we've been reading over the last few days about DeepSeek AI, which apparently, is cheaper and faster and better and such like. And is coming supposedly out of the People's Republic of China. Is this something that we should be worried about?
I think anything that gives the ability for the bad actors to level up their gameplay, especially if it's cheap and it's open source, is a thing of concern. I think the thing that concerns me most about DeepSeek is who's created it. The Republic of China doesn't have the same rules that we play here in the US and the UK. They don't have data privacy rules. They don't have laws that are in place that guide the software that's being created. It's almost like the Wild West for them. They can create whatever they want, and there's no, because the government's behind it, who's going to, keep them from doing anything. There's even been some queries that people go into DeepSeek and they've asked them about the government, and it won't give them any information against the communist government. So their laws don't apply the same rules that we apply for what the big organizations, Microsoft and Amazon and Google are, they have certain restrictions that they have to program into their AI programming. And then when you put that into the open world that the bad actors can get a hold of the technology, it levels them up to a level where maybe their intelligence and sophistication doesn't have to be as great, because they have all this technology that allows them to create these bots, to be able to create the new code, to be able to hack, and be able to do social engineering in a way that we haven't seen. And what I mean by that, AI gives the ability to be able to scour large amounts of data very quickly and be able to bring that data in. So if you think about a social engineering attack, right? That's not a brute force attack. It's not a bunch of machines trying to hack a password. It's actually what used to be a live person calling up and trying to impose and try to trick you into giving out data, whether it's giving out, a password, or implying that they're from IT and they need you to go onto the computer and go to a website, or all these different sophisticated things. Now with AI, they can have a computer make that call. They can spoof that number. They can oftentimes even impersonate the tone of that person, know data about you that they've scoured from Facebook and the internet and ask questions, personal questions. How's the wife? How are your kids doing? And make it very personal to fool you into thinking they're an authorized person. And these attacks are going to be coming. They're out there. We've all heard the robo-dialers. They're getting very sophisticated. You can't tell if they're a computer or not. And even some of the questions that I used for years, tell me what day of the week it is, right? They're able to answer that now, and they couldn't a few years ago. So it's getting to the point where you're really going to have to use your gut feeling a lot of times.
I'm with you.
Right. And that oftentimes is going to be your best defense. If something seems a little fishy when somebody calls you on the phone, tell them, hey, let me call you right back, and call that person back and ask them if you just had a conversation. It's as simple as that. It may take a little bit more time, but in this day and age, you need to be safe, especially when you're talking about security for yourself and your organization.
You just reminded me, a few years ago, I wasn't sure if it was a bot speaking to me or not. It turned out it was a human being after all. But at the time I asked, John, please tell me, what is the name of the vice president? And he said, what? Tell me the name of the vice president of the USA. So it's a bit scary. The human cannot answer the question.
Yeah.
The bot can answer the question. Right. But Jason, just to make sure I'm fully understanding you here, we're talking about like deep fakes, like the deep fake videos we've seen recently. Yeah. We're talking about someone who is able to spoof the number of the CFO. Yes. And then come on the telephone and sound like the CFO when giving an instruction to a subordinate, to a reportee within the company. And this deep fake voice, already from the dark web, Facebook, scouring all the sources all over the web, actually knows, that say the mother of the target person's trying out a new drug for her arthritis, and little Jimmy is playing soccer and such like, and give all the appearance of being the genuine person before then saying, please will you wire urgently $10,000, $100,000 to bank account number such and such and so and so. Can it really do that?
If it's not doing it today, it's on the horizon. The technology's out there.
Yes.
The data is out there. It's about somebody coding the program to do it. And that's where the danger of the AI really gives these bad actors, because most criminals are not very intelligent. They wouldn't be in the business of being a criminal.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
I do.
And the AI technology gives them that level up so easily that they can go and create this type of targeted attacks. And usually it's not just one person when we talk about trying to target a business. It's usually a group of people that are going out. They're looking to hijack the data. They're looking for money transfers. And one of the ways that they get in the door is through these social engineering attacks and being able to fool you into thinking they're somebody they're not.
You know something, you've just reminded me of the most recent Mission Impossible movie. Tom Cruise is running around trying to get to a place to save someone. And Simon Pegg's character is on the radio giving him instructions, turn right, turn left, and such and such. And the AI takes over and is giving instructions to Tom Cruise in Simon Pegg's voice. Poor old Tom Cruise is going in the wrong direction. This is really, really scary stuff, Jason. I mean, it sounds to me like we might as well all give up. Is there anything that we can do to protect ourselves personally, our families, and of course our clients, our customers, and the SMBs?
Yeah, there's quite a bit of things that you can do to protect yourself. I think number one is having good security around your environment. That includes a good antivirus solution. It includes a remediation policy, what to do if you are infected, right?
Right.
Have backups for your data. There is more than one case that, somebody clicked on the wrong button, they did the wrong thing, and that computer could be compromised and hijacked. Having a remediation process that includes a backup solution can help solve that. Link protection is something that It's not included with every antivirus solution. Sometimes it's an add-on, but that can protect your users from going to nefarious sites and doing downloads by checking the reputation of that site before they're able to click on it. So having a good technology to be able to protect and an antivirus solution is one of the first steps. So outside of your antivirus solutions, you also need to make sure that you have good password policies and use a password manager, one that creates those long randomized passwords for you. Google has a good one. Microsoft has. There's many organizations that can help you with this, and it'll also keep those passwords in a locker. I do recommend that in addition to using a password manager, that you enable Windows PIN security on top of that. Say you walk away from your desk, and somebody comes up to your computer and wants to log into one of your websites.
Yeah.
That PIN will protect you as another layer of defense from the password manager automatically putting that password in. Another thing you need to do is train your people to be aware and watch out for, bad surfing habits. This can be anything from, creating a culture that, hey guys, we're just not going to do random surfing on the internet in our environment. We need to have work related websites. There are technologies that can put a barrier, a fencing around what sites that are there, but just making sure that your users are aware that the internet can be a dangerous place and to be careful where they click. And also train them against phishing scams and everything else. There are some programs. Security awareness training is something that is available, that's on the marketplace, to be able to teach your people about the dangers of not only the environment, but phishing attacks. There can be some tests that you can go out that do live phishing. They replicate a phishing attack in your environment, and then you can find out people that maybe need a little bit more training because they're happy clickers, and create a training program for them to make them aware. You can also make sure that you have two-factor authentication enabled in your environment. It's important that not only that you have good passwords in place, but you have a way to verify that the person that's entering that password is who they say they are. So having that two-factor authentication in place where you are, have something set to your cell phone or your email or somewhere else that makes sure that they authenticate who they are is very important and part of your security stance for your environment. And, really finally, if you are in a position of where you are holding the keys to the bank account, and create a passphrase within your environment that only you and the parties that need to know are aware of. Don't have it written down, but have that as a second method to be able to defend yourself. So if you do get an impersonation that comes on and it's the CFO and he wants you to wire some money, to say, well, what's the password, boss? And if he can't provide that to you, that's a red flag right there to disengage. It's something that's simple that can be put in an environment and can save a lot of headaches.
Jason, that makes so much sense. I have that for my children. So if they're making a phone call, they have a special passphrase they would never use in normal conversation, but to potential kidnapper, they wouldn't know the difference. You're suggesting we do this in a business environment, and it makes so much sense. So what you're talking about is some kind of passphrase that isn't actually digitally recorded. It's
That's
not
right.
in an online locker. It's just something that everybody in the human world know. When it comes to you giving me an urgent instruction, I'm going to ask you over the telephone. Yeah, and therefore a bad actor is not going to know. It makes great sense. Jason, I mean, wow, what can I say? It's a scary world, but I want to thank you for coming on today and giving us your expertise, and hopefully we can do this again. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you, Neil, and you appreciate being invited to come and talk to you guys again.
Great pleasure. You take care. Bye for now.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Now remember, as our partners, you can sell so many security solutions, such as Verizon Business Internet Secure, Business Mobile Secure, Knox, Mass 360, and a whole plethora of cloud security solutions. Discuss this during your next call with your ConectUS channel manager. Oh, fantastic, Shellie. That was really concerning from Jason Smith there. But listen, you've got some really good news for us. I believe you're going to be telling us about the new iPhone 16e.
Thanks, Neil. Yes, your business customers can pre-order the iPhone 16e right now, and it is released this Friday. The iPhone 16e has effectively the same internal makeup as the baseline iPhone 16, with a powerful A18 chipset, a 128 gigabyte of storage, and an 8 gigabyte of RAM. It supports Apple Intelligence and debuts Apple's new C1 modem for 5G and cell service connectivity. That's 5G nationwide and C-band. The real difference comes with the camera and design. The iPhone 16e sports the same 48 megapixel main camera as the iPhone 16, but there's no ultra camera, no telephoto lens, and fewer shooting modes. Design-wise, the iPhone 16e borrows the display of the iPhone 14, notch and all, and the body of the iPhone 15, including a handy action button. The screen is therefore 6.1 inches diagonally. It has a 2532 by 1117 pixel resolution at 460 pixel per inch. It is a Super Retina XDR display protected by ceramic shield. Battery life is quoted as being up to 21 hours, and the USB connection is USB-C. Its price is $600, and it can be bought retail, DPP, or on contract. For example, $16.66 over 36 months or $25 over 24 months. Get in touch if you need more information. Thanks, Neil.
Fantastic, Shellie. Thank you. Listen, just to clarify, every iPhone since the iPhone 12 has included the Qualcomm 5G modem, receives all terrestrial cell phone frequencies. The iPhone 16e swaps out the Qualcomm for an in-house C1 modem that does not work with millimeter wave, the original ultra wideband. So, having said that though, millimeter wave is ideally suited for fixed, broadband in offices and homes, of course. So in fixed locations. So the millimeter wave, most people are not going to notice that that's missing from their smartphone. And of course, it's $600.
Yeah, this is big.
Okay.
This is a big breaking news moment.
Not really. So just to reiterate to everybody, it's the 16e. It's on pre-order right now for your business customers, and it comes out this coming Friday. All right, so get to business. Good luck selling. Hey,
Yes.
Shellie, stay with me because I would like to tell you and all the viewers about what we are doing at Channel Partners. I'll be traveling 3 weeks on Sunday, so it's coming up real fast. So let me share my screen. Up on screen just now, you can see the usual Expo area. This is a screenshot I took, just a few days ago. Some of the green areas have still not been sold yet, but they'll be pretty full. There are always a few last minute businesses that join in. But I want to focus on down here. So this is the place where people arrive from. They're coming from the underground walkway, from all the hotels and all the restaurants, the air-conditioned restaurants and shops, and they arrive at registration. And then they walk in this area here. So this is the actual Expo proper for those that have not been here before. And this is where security stands. And the Expo hall, this area here, is only open on the Tuesday, that's 3 weeks on Tuesday, from 3 to 7 p.m. and then on the Wednesday afternoon, and then for 2 hours on the Thursday morning. This area here is open on the Monday from 4 to 7, all day Tuesday, all day Wednesday, and then for these 2 hours on the Thursday morning. So let's have a bit of a closer look Here we go. So this is the hospitality hub. This is just a place where people are sitting down at desks, if you like, tables, having a cup of coffee and using their laptops. All of these are the glass meeting rooms, okay? And the skinnier ones behind along the back here are these old-fashioned solid white walled meeting rooms with an open ceiling. So they'll be kind of like hidden from view, if you like. So they're just a little bit quieter than sitting out in the open. But these are the more exciting ones. These are the glass-sided. I say windows. They're actually polycarbonate, three-sided. Now, first thing I want to tell you is this is the only exhibit in this area that's open all the time. And who does it belong to? It belongs to ConectUS Wireless. It's 30 by 30.
Yep.
This is the biggest exhibit, Shellie, that we have ever had, you know. So we're really excited about it. This is just a general layout. We still haven't fixed it yet. The first thing I want to tell you is we'll have a couple of TVs, big screen TVs facing this way and this way for those people that don't want to step up onto the carpet. Never quite understood that at expos. People are quite happy to stand on the regular carpet. They're a little bit worried that if they step onto our red carpet, this will be red, you know, we're going to pounce on them. But a couple of TVs. This is the stock car. Yeah, the ConectUS car. We're going to have an actual full size, a wide spread around the person seated there, driving simulator game. It's really exciting. I have a photograph of that to show you, Shellie, in just a moment. We'll have a reception desk and then some toys here. There's a giant Connect 4, for example, a couple of coin tosses taking up this area. As I say, none of this cast in stone yet. And we will have at least one meeting space actually in the booth itself. I know, and I've included here, we're paying an enormous amount of money for two giant spotlights, not quite Super Troopers. Thank you, ABBA. Yeah, but we're going to have a couple of big giant spotlights pointing down, so it will be well lit. I need to pick this up again. I don't know what happened there. That was really strange. Okay, so on the booth, we'll have something like this again. David Starr will be back again. Yeah, we will have the ConectUS car. He will have hero cards for people to sign. We have the organizers announcing the 2 signing periods. He won't be doing it all the time. So people will be lining up during these 2 signing autographs periods that will be well publicized. And this is the car we got back last year, 2024. We actually had the stretch NASCAR. This year we have the newly rewrapped and shinier than ever ConectUS car. Now, one thing I want to point out to people is that will be far more of these glass houses, and we will be very much closer to the doors. We will be about here. So the moment people walk in the door, they will be right beside us. But this is just to give you a flavor, Shellie, of what we're going to have here. So now moving in closer, right beside, there's only 10 feet gap, right beside that big expo area, we have got the very first glass house as well. You know, so I mean, people simply cannot miss us. Cannot miss us as they're coming in any of these days. And as I say, we're open all the time. This is what that meeting room will look like. Here's the door. Here are the 3 sides that will be the polycarbonate windows. Nicely lit. And of course, we may have a display outside. We'll probably have a display inside. We'll have things like smartphones and tablets and wireless routers and things for people to actually pick up. And the most important thing is we've actually got enough room for 2 meetings simultaneously. So 2 meetings inside the glass house and potentially a 3rd meeting concurrent actually outside on the expo floor. So come on, partners, yeah, ConectUS agents, partners, if you would like to meet some prospects or your existing business customers, and instead of forcing them to walk away and go up the elevators in the Venetian to a suite or something, come and speak to us ahead of time or speak to us once you get there, and I'm sure we can let you have your meetings inside the glass house, okay, right there on the show floor. Just to give you an idea of how big it is and how we kind of managed to fit in two meeting areas, here's the kind of size. You can see it before we actually lay out the furniture. So these are, I mean, this is just a great opportunity for you to come and join us and be meeting with your prospects and clients there at Channel Partners Expo.
That's wonderful.
Thank you, Shell. Hey, listen, stay with me because I want to remind people how they can get the free Expo Pass. So up the top here, you can see the link. Rather than trying to laboriously type this link out, and by the way, I'm going to drop this link for those of you who are not watching the live version, who are watching this later this afternoon or tomorrow morning on the YouTube. I'll drop this link in down below in the YouTube description if you like. But I mean, for those of you, our partners who are watching live just now, go and look for the MailChimp emails from Rick or look at our social media that are posted everywhere across the internet from Noah Weber. You can't miss it. To find this link, and this link up the top here, this feather.co link will bring you to this landing page here where it says register now with the code ConectUS. And just to remind you, I've told you this a couple of weeks ago, here is the typical pricing here. If you want the all access pass, it would be $849. If you use our code, it's dropped down to $425. So we're talking half price here. If you only want to go to the channel partner conference and the expo, of course, yeah, it's reduced from $449 to $250. There are many people there who find that they can fill up the full 2 or 3 or 4 days by going just to the keynote speeches, the plenary speeches, and of course visiting everybody in the expo and ConectUS. If that's the case, the price reduces down to $0. So again, if you click through, you got to fill in these kinds of things. You are going to give your legal first name and your legal last name, what your job title is, the company that you work for, and where you come from, and all that kind of stuff. You're going to create a password. You're going to check this box here. And when you move here, this is the most important thing, Shelley. I'm telling the partners today, what is your primary business type? Be very, very sure to click on this one, Technology Advisor, parenthesis, agent, sub-agent. This is how you will get the discount. Fill in something else there, and they'll be charging you $1,000 or more. Okay. So you do all of that. You're going to click on whichever one you want, the All Access Pass or the Expo, and then you're going to click again, and it's going to tell you that you have to pay this amount of money. Don't click accept yet. Go back up here. This is where you fill in the coupon code, the promo code. Yeah. All in caps, of course. All in caps. Don't use lowercase. Don't ask me why. There we go. ConectUS. Et voila. At last, you get the discount, and you then go to confirm.
There you go.
You pay, the full sum of $0 and 0 cents. My goodness, Shelley, I am completely dry. I'm ready to go and drink some water. Thank you very much for presenting the iPhone 16e to everybody and saving me to talk for the entire half hour. Do you have any plans for this coming week?
I'm hoping this warm weather stays here. I just adore being outside and not inside trapped. It feels like you're trapped when it's cold. You can't. It's just not very motivating. So once the sun is out, like it is now, I plan just to be outside a lot and maybe work outside on the patio, which I miss so much. I go on the patio and do a lot of my work, and paperwork and things. And I know that maybe that sounds boring to people, but that's a nice office when you can be out.
I'm going to be working around the car. I'm hoping that my children will help me.
What's your plans?
Working on brakes, would you believe? I'm working on brakes. I'm replacing the pads on four of the wheels, one of the cars this weekend. And in fact, I decided to spend a little bit extra, and I bought new front discs. There's a few little tiny grooves on the front discs that you can feel with your fingernail. I thought, it's getting so inexpensive these days just to replace the discs rather than getting them machined. So That's what I shall be doing
Mhm.
this weekend. Yeah, also, my son and I will be going to a men's breakfast at one of our local churches. Looking forward to that. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah, that'll be a lot of fun as well. So, yeah, I mean, and as they say, I know a change is as good as a rest. I don't like to rest too much at the weekend. You know, I like to do things that get me out of the house, out into the real world, especially now, as you say, that the spring is arriving and the snow is finally melting. So,
yes, I'm hoping it stays around, and I really, really do. You know, I want to start just, trying to plan for things I want to do outside or fix up or paint, just some fun things around the house. But it's only February. It's almost, I'm like, okay, it's okay if the cold comes back. Rick keeps reminding me, well, it is winter.
yeah,
Yes, that's true. But so that's really what I'm looking forward to. Is just the warmth staying around and me. It motivates you more, I think, when the sun shines out. Even like you said, it's snowing, but the sun's out.
yeah.
Do you feel better when the sun's out, even though it's cold?
Absolutely. I always get a big
Hmm.
lift from sunshine. Yeah, I grew up in
Yeah.
Scotland where the summer lasted for like 1 month, you know, and the rest of the time it was completely overcast with grey clouds. So, I mean, the sunshine always makes me feel like I'm on vacation. It always gives me that psychological lift. So,
Yes.
I'm going to enjoy the rest of this spring, summer, and fall as long as it lasts. So, listen, Shelley,
Oh
look
yeah.
forward to seeing you again real soon. Thanks to you for being with us. And thanks to all of you for joining us. And thank you, Jason Smith, our expert contributor, for coming to talk about security today. I will see you all again real soon. Bye for now.